just chilling down here today. I can't be bothered to move. Quite comfy. I can already tell that this video is going to be a disaster, so let's just get into it. So here's the thing that happened the other day. I bought a moisturiser because I needed some more moisturiser. I bought this new moisturiser that I'd never used before, but I thought it looked nice. I read the back and it smelled like apricots and I thought, oh, lovely, perfect. I put it on yesterday and now I have come out with a very blotchy tan. So like, if I look yellow at any point, like if I look really ill, like please just ignore that. I read the back, but I didn't read that it was a tanning moisturiser, like it gives you a tan after you put it on. So that's a thing that happened to me, and yeah, if I look orange, if I look really like, yeah, then please just ignore it. We're gonna go with it. That's why I'm sitting in a really dark room. I probably shouldn't have worn this yellow jumper because it's gonna make it look worse. But anyway, hi guys, it's Jess and welcome back to my channel. Today I am gonna be sharing with you guys some of the things. I'm just putting my tea over here so I don't like knock it and spill it over. I'm gonna be sharing with you some of the things that I really like in books. And I love watching these videos every time people come out with them because it's always really interesting to see what people love reading about and what people hate reading about, and it's always different every single time. And I thought I would have my 2 cents because, you know, why not? And just talk to you about the things that I love in books. There are a lot of things I love, there are a lot of things I don't like, but I wanna keep the positivity on my channel. So I'm just gonna talk about the things I love. I'll probably do the other video of things that I hate in books at some point in the future. Now there are a lot of things that I love in books, like enemies to lovers in romance, good plot twists, cliffhangers. There's just loads of stuff, so it was really difficult for me to try and narrow this list down, but I managed to narrow it down to 10 things, and I'm just gonna start with the list. So the first thing that I really love in books is strong character development, and this is probably, out of all of the things I love, this is probably the most important to me, because I feel like even if a book doesn't have the best plot in the world, as long as the characters are developed really well, as long as, you know, their goals are clear and they're written with intention and they're likeable, then it doesn't matter. If there isn't, you know, any good character development, then the book can fall really flat, and I hate that with a passion. So I absolutely love it when the characters have really strong, believable personalities, but their story arcs make sense. And also, you know, I love seeing characters when they make mistakes and they actually learn from their mistakes. And it's kind of cool when you're learning along with them and you're just seeing how they change over time, how they, you know, cope with things, how they deal with conflict. Strong character development is a massive, big must for me, and if a book doesn't have that, then it's just not worth the time. The second thing that I really love in books, which kind of ties into the first point a little bit as well, is strong relationships. I really love it when, you know, there are strong friendships, when there are strong romances, when characters work really well together, when they have great dynamics, when they have great conversations. It just flows so much easier. It makes the story so much more enjoyable and so much more believable. I hate it when things are forced, and you can always kind of tell when things are forced. I hate forced dialogue and stuff like that. So if you have really good characters, if your characters are developed really well, then their relationships are probably gonna be just as good. And that's another thing that really makes a book for me. I love it when characters just have those great dynamics with each other, the great chemistry that just leaps off the page. Like, I absolutely live for it. I will actually give you an example of a book or books that actually do this really well, and that is The Hate You Give and Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. Both of these books have really good character development, but they also have really strong relationships. The characters, you know, have really interesting dynamics with their family members and with their friends, and it's totally believable. Like, I felt like I was reading about a real life family when I was reading those books, and it just flowed really well. It felt so natural, and I would really encourage you to read these books if you haven't, just for the family relationships alone. They're just absolutely perfect. The next thing that I like in books is education, and by that obviously I mean learning something. I am a natural learner. I love to seek out new information all of the time, and I just like to know things. So if I've finished a book and I feel like I have learned something from that book, whether it be about a certain topic or a certain way of life or a different viewpoint, or, you know, something about myself, whatever, I feel like I have used my time really well. And it also allows me to then go off and talk to other people about this thing that I've learned, and to share this thing with other people. And I love it. I love to learn stuff, so I love it when books do that. It definitely makes me feel a bit more accomplished and a bit more fulfilled, and I always try to seek out books that are going to teach me something. It doesn't matter what it's about. I love reading books that obviously portray very different lifestyles to my own and different cultures and stuff like that. But yeah, like, it doesn't really matter what the book is about if it's teaching me something. It's a good book. The fourth thing, that's really hard to say, that I like in books are red herrings. And I know a lot of people don't like red herrings, but I love them. I love it when things throw me off. It has to be done really well, but when it is done really well, it works amazingly. So I love it when, like, you know, if you're reading a thriller or a mystery novel, like, the writer will throw something in there and then you're focusing on that thing the entire time, thinking that that is, you know, a clue, it's something related to the story, and then it turns out that it's not, and you've been so distracted on that thing that when the actual thing happens, or when the actual thing is revealed, it's a massive shock. I love that. I've said this before, I love plot twists. I also like it when they do that thing where there's several different plot points in the story that don't really seem like they're connected to each other, but then as you get towards the end, you realise that they all are connected. I love that. Like, I am living for that, and I think that should be done more. Number 5 is the occult. So anything that's like cults or witches or Satanism or just really dark, spooky stuff like that. Things like dark magic, religion. I love it all. I've been getting into horror a bit more recently over the past like 6 or 7 months. And so I have been looking for books that feature, you know, like cults and stuff like that. I love watching movies with that kind of stuff. I always find it really interesting. So anything like that I really, really enjoy, because I do have a bit of a dark, I wouldn't say I have a dark mind, but I am interested in all of that kind of like dark stuff. Like, I do have this kind of morbid fascination with death and things like that. So anything like that I absolutely love. I love it as well when it's like, when you're not reading a horror book, when you're reading like a thriller or something that just seems like totally normal, and that kind of stuff is thrown into this, like, you know, normal world. It makes it really interesting, and it adds like a new layer to the story. I don't know if that makes sense, but if it does, then great. I haven't prepared for this video at all. I just wrote down some notes and I'm like, there we go, let's just do it. So I'm sorry if this video is an absolute mess today, but hopefully I can save it in the edit. just gonna have a sip of my tea just to get my thoughts back in motion. There we go. So number 6 is taboo topics. There is a limit, obviously. Like, there are some things that I don't want to read about. There are some things that I know are not okay and I don't support it at all. But I do enjoy reading about taboo topics within reason. I've talked about the book Birthday Girl quite a lot, which is a book about this girl in her early 20s who moves in with her boyfriend, but then they break up and she ends up having a sexual relationship with her ex-boyfriend's dad, who is like in his late 40s, something like that. And I really liked that. I loved the taboo-ness of it, because those kind of relationships are still very quite stigmatized. Like, I don't have a problem with that, you know. Like, that's not the worst thing that someone could do. But it's one of those things that would create controversy. I love controversy. I love it when books tackle controversial subjects that kind of, you know, play devil's advocate a little bit and make you think about things in a different way. I love all of that kind of stuff. It's really interesting. But yeah, I will admit that I do like reading about taboo topics. But obviously there are some things that I will not go to. So yeah. The next thing that I love is humour. I mean, I don't know anyone who doesn't like humour in books. I love reading light-hearted, funny books. I try to read them when I'm feeling quite low, or if I've been reading a lot of heavy books, I try to read books that I know are going to make me smile and make me laugh, just to kind of, you know, lift my spirits a bit and just stop me thinking about all of those heavy topics that I've been reading about. But I love it when books are funny. I love it when books are unintentionally funny. Like, if the author didn't mean to make it funny, but it's funny, like, that is just perfect to me. I also love things, you know, that are quite awkward. I love awkward characters, and I love it when authors write scenes that are made to be awkward, and it just makes it so much more fun to read. I love it when authors put their personalities into their writing and they make it super fun and you're laughing along with them. It just brings so much joy to my heart, and I need more books like that. And Matt Haig just springs to mind, because when I read The Humans, I found that book so hilarious. Like, I absolutely adore it, and I think the humour, like, some of it is very tongue-in-cheek, and some of it's very satirical, and a lot of it is kind of like making fun of us as a species. But I love that kind of stuff. I love it when you can just be like, yeah, that is pretty stupid. So yeah, like, I love his books, and I love when he throws the humour in there. He's very good at it. So I definitely want to be reading more books like that, because I need more. The 8th thing that I love in books is diverse characters. Now, for like the past 9-10 months, I have been making more of a conscious effort to try and diversify my reading and just read out of my comfort zone a little bit and read books by people of colour and black authors and LGBTQ plus authors, disabled authors. I still have a long way to go with that, obviously, but I am really enjoying reading more diverse books and just experiencing different viewpoints and different cultures and different lifestyles, and I am really enjoying the diverse cast of characters that is bringing with me. It always adds really interesting dynamics to character groups and character relationships, and again, it helps provide like really good character development, and it's something, you know, that I want to see more in books, that should be in books more often. Like, people should be writing diverse characters anyway, but I really enjoy it. It really sets the book up for some interesting conversations and really cool stories, and fantasy, I think, does this really well. I've read a few more fantasy books recently, and they have always had an amazing cast of characters, like really diverse characters. Once and Future by Amy Rose Capetta and Corey McCarthy is a science fiction fantasy Arthurian retelling set in space that has an absolutely amazing cast of characters. Also, the Wayward Children series by Shauna Maguire is absolutely fantastic. Those books have a really great cast of diverse characters as well. And then I have some fantasy books by Black authors that I'm really excited to read in the next few weeks, and one of them is Legendborn, which I believe is another Arthurian retelling, and I've heard that has a fantastic cast of characters as well. So yeah, I'm really excited to see some more amazing diverse characters in books. So number 9 is Antiheroes. Now, I really enjoy reading books about anti-heroes. I'm one of those people that always likes the bad boys and the bad girls in films and books, because they're always more fun and more interesting, and they have a lot going on under the surface that is just, you know, it makes the story so great. One of the books that really springs to mind for me with this one is Loki, Where Mischief Lies by Mackenzie Lee. This is one of my favourite young adult books, actually, and it's, you know, all about a young Loki who gets sent to Victorian London to try and find out what's happening with these like murders going on, and like someone's using Asgardian magic. And Loki is such a great character. I mean, he's a little shit, and in no way is he a hero, because he does a lot of things that a hero wouldn't do, but I really like following him on his journey and just seeing what kind of chaos he brings and gets up to. And actually, I think he does have quite good intentions sometimes. So I feel like I need to be reading more books with anti-heroes in, because I haven't read any in quite a long time. They always have like such great layers to them, and it's just, you know, it's just such a joy to read. So if anyone has any recommendations for me regarding anti-heroes in books, then please let me know. Recommendations are always appreciated. Alright, so we're at the end of the list now, and the last one is international travel. So I really want to travel, and obviously at the minute that's not possible. I've only left the UK once in my life. I went to New York when I was in university about 4 years ago now, actually, and it was amazing. But anyway, I really want to travel, and so I love it when books take me to places that isn't the UK or America. I love books set in European countries, especially, mainly Italy. Like, I have a weird fascination with Italy, and I've never even been, but I really want to go to Italy. So when books are set in Italy, I love it. But I just love it when books are like centered around holidays or road trips, or books kind of like take you over multiple continents at the same time and stuff like that. I just really love it, because it really kind of sates my appetite for travel, and it also makes me want to travel more. It's kind of frustrating reading those kind of books at the moment, because obviously we can't go anywhere. It's not like I can just get on a plane and go to France right now, because that's not allowed. But yeah, I really like it when there's international travel involved, and I have a few books lined up in the next few months that feature international travel, so I'm very, very excited. I did a lot of talking there. Let me just... There we go. Alright guys, so that is the end of this video. I'm sorry, it was quite rambly. I didn't do a lot of preparation for this video. This one is one of those spontaneous videos again, and I really had to think about what I was going to say. My head has been all over the place lately, and I've been really, really struggling to talk and to just say coherent things. So hopefully this video wasn't too bad. I will try and make it okay in the edit. I don't know, it's going to be a challenge, I'm up for it. But anyway, those are all the things that I love in books. Obviously there are loads more. I could have made this video even longer than what it was, but we're not going to do that. So please feel free to leave comments down below letting me know what your thoughts are on the things that I like in books. Do you agree with some of the points I've made, or do you disagree? Are there other things that you like or don't like? I would love to hear from you. Please leave a cheeky thumbs up if you like this video, and please subscribe to my channel so you can see more silly rambliness from me in the future. And I will see you all in my next video very soon. Bye guys.